Hi, folks, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. I'm going to be taking a walk around downtown, uh, checking out the moon and taking in the atmosphere. Um, yeah, the reason why is I needed to come out and pass some time before it was time to eat. My everything starts over at midnight as far as my diet and the way I count the numbers and everything, because I kind of count carbs, I count calories, and I look at you know uh, fats that I intake and everything. But of course, lean chicken maybe would be lean chicken, but not quite. Not lean chicken. It's chicken leg quarters, probably some of the fattiest chicken that's out there, but it's still lean, because I'm gonna like drain it, and it's braised and everything. So whatever. It's cool. It's gonna be great. Main thing is no carbs. If there are carbs, it's incidental, like 2 or 3 carbs. And the calories are going to be low on this, so that's great. Okay, so I had this morning I had a I don't know, one of my little nutrition bars that I got. The little, you can find them anywhere. I think this one was a Nature's Harvest bars. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it's a peanut granola kind of thing with the tree nuts and a little bit of chocolate, and it's very delicious, but also very filling. And that's great, and it's a good source of fiber. And I don't know, I think, what are the carbs on that? Maybe 9 grams of carbs. Anyway, I had that this morning, and then kind of like really just not much else. And the reason why is because I'm closing in on my next goal weight. See, I do my goal weight, the same way I take a long trip on the road. Instead of looking at, oh my God, it's 900 miles from here to there, I look at the little milestones, the little signposts in between, and say, oh, so this block of the journey is over. Cool. So, I don't know. It's easier to count down for me the blocks 50 or 60 miles versus looking ahead at like 700 or 900 miles or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, also as important for me as the diet is also this physical activity. And so I have about an hour to kill before it's time for me to eat, before my day starts over, because I just turned this day into a fast. I just went out to the gym, really great. When I did my final weigh-in before I left, it was like, holy cow, let's put it like this. I was reading 1 pound above the goal weight that I wanted to reach at, but the scale that I was weighing on, the electric scale, it already weighs like 4 ounces before you step onto it. So that's basically 6 ounces. I don't know how many, the way it measures or something like that. I don't know, but it was like 6 to 8 ounces, whatever. I think it's like 12 ounces to a pound. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, it was so close that it was like, you know what? Cool. By the time I walk home and do some chores and kind of work on stuff, and by the time I eat again, I would have lost this 1 extra pound. So that's kind of cool. So that's great. I like to lose weight slowly these days. I think it's healthier to do that. But there's nothing like that adrenaline of, hey, I'm almost there. When you're approaching a number that you want to be at, and then you're like right there, but not quite. It's kind of like running a race when you see the finish line and you kick in that adrenaline. That's what it's like for me. And then, so that means how I approach getting to my goal weight, maybe I decided 5 pound increments at a time. And then now I'm so close that I am within 7 pounds of the ultimate goal weight that I should be at. And the reason why I want to be at this weight, as I've discussed it, it has to do with a ratio to, uh, you know, muscle to fat body in the weight and everything like that. And so before I even consider would consider any sort of gain, and the fact is muscle gain for me, it's there are various body types in gym work, and some body types really put on muscle, and some body types shed fat faster than they, whatever. So and there's but I've never been one to really pack on any sort of like muscle weight. It's always been harder for me to put on muscle weight than some body types. It's just the luck of the draw, right? But I can still get in really good shape, and that's my goal. But that part of it, that's not going to start for me until I get down to that. So from this point, I've got to lose at least 7 more pounds. And if I can do that before my next doctor's appointment in about 2 weeks, that would be sweet. But if not, it'll be close enough that I'm not going to panic on this. I'm trending in that right direction, which means that number is coming down. And then once I have reduced to where I feel like I should be as far as like a, percentage of body fat to where I am now, then I can start pushing, some resistance training, more dumbbells and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not an expert. I'm really not. I'm just, I figure stuff out as I go along. So what works for one person may not work for another. And you may have a regimen that works better for you, and that's cool too. So let me pause this while I walk over to the river. Oh, so there's this to talk about. I live right behind this studio, G Unit Studios. That is the name that used to be the Millennium Studios or whatever. I guess that's the name that 50 Cent, singular, not plural, 50 Cent has decided to call the studio. And everybody's really excited about it. And they did a little thing, gave him the key to the city and everything. And that's cool. That's cool. So anyway, I thought, yeah, and so we have these little I don't know what you would call those, pennants or flags all around, celebrating that, the happenings that are going on there. I guess the hope is that we can attract some more of that industry, that we're not just a one studio town or something like that. We really enjoyed locally around 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. We really enjoyed a boon in the movie industry for quite a few years. And I know that we would love to have some of that back. And we do have some of it, and we'd like to get more of it back, So, and of course, I'm coming up to the bridge, and you know what that means. The Red River just past this bridge. So this, I've got it figured out at the art gallery here on Texas. I'll show the name in a minute. It reminds me of marble. Like I got a marble countertop, so that's what it reminds me of. But this is kind of cool. I do like that, and that's something I'll probably, if I had, how much is it? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. $300. I don't know. I might. I don't know. I don't have it though. And so this is the Norsworthy Gallery on Texas Street in Shreveport, Louisiana. They have interesting things in there, you know. I think that in regards to art, I can go into any shop and I can always find something. If it doesn't all appeal to me, I can find something that will. You know, it's more in there an expression of interior design versus the type of storybook art that I think that I do, you know. But it's cool, you know. Um, okay, so I'm crossing the street here. I mean, I'm crossing against the light, but there was no traffic really near me. I don't know. There's a little twinge in me that feels guilty about that. And I did look both ways, but it's like, I don't know. Oh, my shadow. Okay. Coming up to the river. Hang on. Hello, CJ Miller. So I'm actually down here at the river's edge looking at the bridge. Gonna do my usual thing. Walk over, look at the lights, look at the reflection in the water, kind of study it. I'm kind of doing something like that with the painting, but in natural, uh, uh, you know, environment that's away from the city. You know, it's a little bit of a wilderness scape, but still, God, I sure do want to hear from some of you guys in the comments. I want to hear how your life is going, your lives are going. I want to hear about what motivates you, what brings encouragement to your day, all those things. I think it's really fun to be able to share those things. Wonderful. There was one thing that kind of was a YouTube thing, and I had to comment. It was a little off-putting to me. It was a guy, probably mid-30s, and he decided to leave a message to people who were like 10 to 15 years old or something. I don't know. And it was all about, hey, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, whatever, but why not just talk about experience from your point of view? Hey, when I was younger, I wish that I had known this. Just kind of leave it at that. Why do you actually have to address it to a 10-year-old child, to a 15-year-old child, or whatever, or whatever, I don't know. But I can say that if I were a parent and someone who was a veritable stranger was speaking to my child and giving them advice, no matter what the intent, I would feel, well, you know, that's not really your place to be advising my child. And so, you know, people just have to be careful of what's on the interwebs, even on YouTube. So this is a YouTuber guy, like inspiration. If you're an inspirational speaker, psychologist, or something like that, you know that what you do is you personalize these points of view. You say, instead of saying, you are now this and that, and you should, you say, if I had known, I would have done, and I would have perceived, and I would have been aware. I would tell you this, as a person who once was a child, the most off-putting thing to me ever was some old person. And as a child, 30-something looked a lot older to me than it does now, because I'm in my 50s, that looks young. But yeah, no, even like, you know, the most off-putting thing would be some adult telling me that I'm supposed to cherish my youth or my child. You know what I mean? That's whatever. Like, who cares about that anyway? Like, as a child, I did not. I'd be like, oh my God, there's an old-ass person telling me to, yeah, I'm going to enjoy being young because one day I'm going to be an old person like you know. But I'm just reflecting on how I was, you know. And it's like, when I want you to give me conversation or advice about how to live my life, uh, I'll ask for it. Until then, maybe you can like hold your opinions and keep them directed about your own experience instead of giving me instruction on how to go about my life. I don't recall signing up for therapy sessions. But anyway, that was my reaction to that, you know. But then I tend to be, you know, and I have a background in, you know, therapy from both ends of it, you know, providing therapy and receiving therapy. So, I don't know. It's like, I know most of the time, whenever, especially in like a group setting or something, whenever I'm talking, I'm really talking to advise myself. And if anybody picks up on any of that and gets something out of it, that's great. But it's really more self-enforcement, you know, especially in the 12-step settings and everything. Yeah, not everybody may perceive that the way that I did, but I was like, oh my God, why would you be reaching out to children on the internet anyway? All right, let me walk over by the stage area over there. Wow. Sure do love the way this moon looks tonight. Alright, so I have stepped down and I am over here where I can make my little walk over to the area, the little staging area, which is right there. I don't really, I mean, I come down here a lot, but I don't come down here as much as I would love to, you know. Probably be less grumpy about little things like a person on YouTube after I go home and eat some chicken. Garlic coated chicken, by the way. So, you know, there's no official study about the benefits of like herbs like garlic. Garlic, though, is thought by many, and I've even had this, even though there's no studies, I've even had doctors say, by the way, garlic is super powerful, and it's a great charge for the immune system in the same way that vitamin C and a lot of supplements are, you know. So yeah, I've heard a lot of that, and I think there's something to that, and that may even be the basis of why vampires don't like garlic, you know, because we're talking about bloodborne illnesses, really. For one thing, the vampire lore, for the most part, is basically a toxic relationship story, but the love part is you know, that's what that is, or whatever. But the monster of it really is bloodborne pathogens, and so garlic, you know, even in those times, you know, there seemed to be oh no, you know, like a health benefit, subtext or whatever. So I don't know, but I do know that I love garlic, and but there's a lot to be said for you know, like you know, the benefits, you know. I know that garlic is healthier than sugar. I'll tell you that. You know, there are a lot of things that we think of that maybe hold true, but there aren't really official studies of. Such as, most of us know the benefits of aloe vera, but then there are no official studies to support that, you know. And so, to me, something like that, or with garlic, it really doesn't matter if it's real, if it's a real health benefit or if it's a placebo that, oh, I'm eating garlic and so I'm going to feel healthier or whatever. So that doesn't quite matter to me, because even if it is, but it works because of the mental frame of mind that getting into it puts you to and everything like that. If that's the case, then ooh, we're thinking ourselves into a healthier state of being, basically, is what it is. And ooh, isn't that witchcraft? No, but positive thinking is a big part of physical health and mental health. But our mental health is tied into our physical health, right? So when we're feeling down, depressed, bummed out, blah blah blah, it takes a toll on us physically. It's exhausting to have concerns and worries and depressions and sadnesses and everything. So if we can work through those times that we feel it, if we can work through that and make an effort to change our thoughts, at least get to the planning stage, planning towards solution, planning towards change. If we can get ourselves to that place of hope, out of despair, from despair to hope, if we can get ourselves to that, then we can start approaching a healthier state of thought that can be healthier for our physical well-being as well. There again, I am not a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist or medical doctor. It's just that's been my experience. And there have been times when I've been really down, and then there are times that I've not gotten myself to a hopeful state, solution-oriented, but that I've wallowed, and those times have resulted in, where I've stayed in the sadness, they've resulted in even things just degrading into a worse situation. And so sometimes gotta put on the brakes, gotta reverse those engines, back out of that despair, and get into the light of hope. And it's like any muscle in the body, those emotions, sometimes it's an exercise to do that. I don't rely on that by myself. I have a strong connection to God, as I perceive God to be. So that's kind of cool, that I don't feel like I'm just all alone in that. And then I have a good circle of people. I think it's really good to have, if you're fortunate enough to have good people in your life that can give good, positive vibes. Do you ever see a box of crabs? Like when you're going to do say blue shell crabs or something. We're Louisiana, we have a lot of crabs. So if you see that, there's always 2 or 3 crabs trying to crawl out of the box. And what do crabs do? They'll reach up and they'll grab the crab that's almost out of the box, and they'll pull it back down, and they'll try to climb over it. And so, that's the kind of situation we want to avoid being in a box full of crabs, that when we try to crawl out of that crab, the other crabs are gonna grab us and pull us back down to their level. No, we want to be edified and uplifted, and we want people that are in a position to help pull us out versus pulling us down in a pragmatic, realistic way. Cool. There's your therapy for this session. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video, walk back over towards my apartment. It's almost about time to eat. And if I eat, then I can stop talking about all this. Sometimes on a dieter's quest, I'm gonna pop back in and say this. Sometimes on a dieter's